Never before in human history has attention been so abundant. Every second, millions of videos appear, millions of advertisements compete, millions of creators publish. The world has become louder than ever before. Yet something strange has happened. Attention became easier to collect, but harder to monetize. A viral video does not guarantee a business. Millions of followers do not guarantee wealth. Millions of views do not guarantee survival. Because attention is one of the least valuable assets on the internet. Its value exists for only a brief moment, then it disappears like smoke. The businesses shaping the digital economy understand something different. They do not chase attention, they capture it, guide it, measure it, and quietly transform it into predictable economic value. Because attention is not the destination, it is merely the raw material. The real product is the system that processes it.
Most people believe customers simply decide to buy. Reality is far more structured. Every purchase begins long before money changes hands. It begins with curiosity. Curiosity becomes attention. Attention becomes interest. Interest becomes trust. Trust becomes commitment. Commitment finally becomes capital. What appears to be a single decision is actually an engineered sequence, invisible to customers, obvious to architects. This sequence has a name, the funnel. Unfortunately, the word itself has become misleading. Many imagine a marketing diagram, a sales technique, or a collection of software, but none of these describe its true purpose. A funnel is not a marketing asset, it is a behavioral architecture. Its responsibility is simple: reduce uncertainty, one decision at a time. Because every customer carries invisible questions. Can I trust this? Will this solve my problem? Is the risk acceptable? Every stage of the architecture answers one question until no meaningful uncertainty remains. Only then does the transaction naturally occur.
Imagine two websites. Each receives 1 million visitors every month. From the outside, they appear equally successful, but appearances rarely reveal architecture. The first measures traffic. The second measures progression. The first celebrates clicks. The second studies behavior. The first asks, how do we attract more people? The second asks, where do people stop moving? This single question changes everything. Because every abandoned page reveals friction. Every ignored message reveals uncertainty. Every unfinished purchase reveals architectural weakness. The modern business is no longer limited by visibility. It is limited by conversion. Attention enters through the front door, but value is created only when movement continues. The strongest digital businesses are not built by maximizing visitors. They are built by minimizing interruption, because every unnecessary decision reduces momentum, and momentum is the invisible currency flowing through every successful funnel.
An automated funnel is often mistaken for a marketing campaign. In reality, it behaves more like a processing plant. Raw materials enter, refined assets leave. The raw material is attention. The finished asset is trust. Between those 2 points, an invisible system performs its work. The first layer is discovery. Its responsibility is not attracting everyone. It is attracting the right signal from the surrounding noise. Visibility without relevance only creates expensive distraction. The second layer is qualification. Every visitor carries different intentions. Some are curious, some are comparing, some are ready. The architecture quietly separates them, not through interrogation, but through behavior. Behavior reveals intention far more accurately than words. The third layer is trust, perhaps the most valuable layer in the entire system. Products do not create purchases, confidence does. Every demonstration, every explanation, every proof reduces perceived risk until action feels safer than hesitation. The fourth layer is conversion. Many believe this is where value is created. It is not. Conversion simply reveals whether the previous layers were designed correctly. A healthy conversion is never forced. It is the natural conclusion of accumulated certainty. The fifth layer is expansion. Most businesses celebrate the first transaction. Architects celebrate the second and the third, because the objective is never one sale. It is one relationship capable of producing many exchanges over time. When these 5 layers operate together, the funnel disappears from view. Customers experience a smooth journey. Architects see a precisely engineered infrastructure. And infrastructure is what quietly transforms attention into capital.
Every business loses customers. The question is not whether people leave. The question is, why? Most founders search for dramatic explanations. Better competitors, economic conditions, changing markets. Sometimes those explanations are true. More often, the answer is surprisingly ordinary. Friction, a confusing headline, an unnecessary form, a slow website, an unclear promise, a delayed response. Each seems insignificant. Together, they become architectural resistance. Imagine water flowing through a pipe. Every sharp corner reduces pressure. Every obstruction slows movement. Eventually, the flow weakens. Customers behave the same way. Every additional decision demands energy. Every uncertainty demands attention. Every interruption creates doubt. The strongest funnels do not persuade harder, they remove obstacles. They shorten the distance between curiosity and confidence. Because people naturally continue moving when nothing unnecessary stands in their way. Great architecture rarely feels impressive. It feels effortless. And effortless systems often produce extraordinary results without attracting attention themselves.
When growth begins slowing, most companies increase advertising. More campaigns, more promotions, more content, more spending. They assume the problem exists at the entrance. Often, it exists much deeper. Imagine pouring more water into a leaking reservoir. The level barely rises, not because supply is insufficient, because the structure cannot retain what already arrives. Businesses experience the same phenomenon. More traffic enters, more opportunities disappear. The symptoms appear to be marketing failures. The disease is architectural. The funnel was never designed to carry increasing volume. Its weak points simply remained hidden until growth exposed them. This is why scale destroys so many businesses. Growth magnifies every invisible flaw. A confusing onboarding process becomes thousands of confused customers. A slow response becomes thousands of abandoned conversations. A weak promise becomes thousands of lost opportunities. The architecture always tells the truth, eventually. Marketing creates visibility. Architecture determines survival. And the companies that mistake one for the other often discover the difference too late.
Money rarely moves first. Trust does. Every economy, from ancient marketplaces to digital platforms, has always operated on the same invisible foundation. People exchange value only after uncertainty begins to disappear. This is why trust behaves like infrastructure. It cannot be manufactured overnight. It cannot be purchased directly. It must be designed. Every interaction either strengthens it or quietly weakens it. The remarkable businesses of the digital age understand this principle. They do not optimize for attention alone. They optimize for trust velocity, the speed at which uncertainty becomes confidence. Because faster trust does not mean rushed decisions. It means fewer unanswered questions, fewer unnecessary obstacles, greater architectural clarity. When trust flows naturally, capital follows naturally, not because customers are manipulated, but because the system consistently reduces risk. The greatest funnels never feel like funnels, they feel like progress. Each step making the next decision slightly easier than the last, until movement becomes almost effortless. This is where architecture quietly replaces persuasion, and where systems begin accomplishing what marketing alone never could.
If your business depends on convincing strangers every day, your growth will always depend on effort. But if your business continuously guides people through a carefully designed journey, growth becomes increasingly predictable. The objective is not attracting everyone, it is helping the right people continue moving. Every page should answer a question. Every email should remove uncertainty. Every automation should reduce delay. Every interaction should create momentum. When the journey becomes coherent, the customer no longer feels sold to, they feel understood. That is the difference between promotion and architecture. Promotion demands attention. Architecture deserves attention. Promotion interrupts. Architecture guides. Promotion disappears when spending stops. Architecture continues working long after the campaign ends. The businesses that dominate tomorrow will not necessarily create more content. They will design better journeys, because journeys compound, campaigns expire.
Most people believe success begins with visibility. The architect knows visibility is only the invitation. Attention is temporary. Trust is durable. Systems are permanent. The businesses that shape the future will not compete for louder voices. They will compete for smoother architectures, because every customer journey is really an invisible system of decisions. Reduce uncertainty and people continue moving. Remove friction and momentum begins to compound. Design every interaction and capital eventually follows. Because attention is never the asset. The system that transforms attention is. This is Nexera. Decoding systems. Architecting wealth.